Bible prophecy is active and unfolding daily. Zechariah 12, Isaiah 17, Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38. Here is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. From AFP, the new U.S. UN ambassador, Nikki Haley, said last week, quote, "We have confirmed that Iran did have a medium-sized missile launch testing on January 29th. This is absolutely unacceptable. I will tell the people across the world that this is something we should be alarmed about. The United States is not naive. We are not going to stand by. You will see us call them out. We are committed to making them understand that this is not anything that we will ever accept. The missile, capable of carrying a 500-kilogram payload, is more than enough to be able to deliver a nuclear weapon." Close quote. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you, Sarah. See if you can get a look at that. It's, it's my tzad, the oat tzad, picture of a path, the way, and it has Tehillah, that's Psalm 116, verse 13 there, and when you turn the cup over, if I can get that reflected, I love it. Thanks, Alan. That's Sarah, I'm telling you, I will treasure this cup always. Thank you. Sarah made this cup by hand, my friends. Tehillah, Psalm 116:13 reads, "I will carry the cup of Yeshua." Most Bibles will say that it's the cup of salvation. Yeshua is salvation and deliverance, but in the original language it reads, "I will carry the cup of Yeshua and call on the name of Yahweh." To carry the cup of Yeshua is to zakar, to remember the cup he endured. Matith Yahu, chapter 26, verse 39 reads, "Yeshua threw himself on the ground with his face cast down. And he prayed, saying, Abba, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass away from me. However, I ask not that my own desire be done, but rather that your will be done." In order to know the Father's will for us, we have to learn how to distinguish his voice. And if you want to know what it's like to hear his voice, if you want to be more familiar with his voice, and to hear it more readily and more assuredly than ever before, that is a very simple thing to achieve. All you have to do is spend more time being washed by and growing in his word. It really is as simple as that. You know, my friends, I always talk in my videos about pitching your tent with Elohim, which is an honor, a wonderful thing to experience that comes to us through being washed by and growing in Yahweh's word. The word says we're saved by grace, and that comes through faith. No, we're not saved by grace or favor, and that doesn't come through faith or belief. We are saved by pitching our tents with Elohim and him pitching his tent with us. And that comes through us being washed by and growing in Yahweh's word. And the more... It's so important, my friends. I wanted to deliver this to you today because I see things ramping up in so many ways. This year is unlike any year I have ever seen in my entire life. And I have been focused on more than half a century of years. But there are so many things coming together. I'm putting together a video. Might not be out until maybe in the summer, but I'm just gathering all these things, all these signs. There are so many signs about this year. And the point I want to make to you today is I had an experience this week, and I had a conundrum trying to figure something out. And Elohim was speaking to me every day for 3 days. And he caught my attention on day 1. He caught my attention on day 2. But I didn't realize he was talking to me until day 3. You know, there was just this little tree that I kept walking past. What's with the tree? And I was just like, well, I don't know. It's nothing. Then the next day, oh, there's the tree again. What's... I don't know, whatever. Where I'm again, what the tree? Oh, look at this! It's amazing. But and my point here is that I spent a lot of time in the Word. I'm being washed by and growing in His Word 24/7. And there are still times where He's trying to get my attention about something and I'm missing it. And you know, one of the reasons is that if you ever experience Elohim speak to you about something, the first thing after that experience that you learn is that it never happens the same way twice. He doesn't let you own anything. Oh, this is how he speaks to me. I know because, you know, this is there and this is over here and then that thing has got to be right there. Then he speaks. No, that's how it happened the first time. It will never happen that way again. So he does, he presents things to us in very different ways in this three-dimensional universe that we're in so that we can start realizing that it doesn't have to do with objects, or it doesn't have to do with this, it doesn't have to do with that, it doesn't have to do with the other thing. It has to do with paying attention and with being conscious and aware of your every breath in every moment. That cannot ever be achieved without being washed by and growing in Yahweh's Word. And again, as I mentioned before, I'm seeing all these signs. This year is a very significant year in history, I'm sure of it. And I want to encourage you to just consider the fact that the absolute most important thing in your life right now is your relationship with Him, is your being washed by and growing in His Word all day, every day. The darkness is getting so thick, the confusion is getting so subtle that it just becomes that much more easy for us to get swallowed up in a dust storm of darkness that's headed this way. Turning to wars and rumors of wars. on Tuesday, January 31st. From the Daily Star, Lebanon, ISIS claimed its fighters killed and wounded 20 Egyptian soldiers in 4 days of clashes in northern Sinai. In a statement posted on a pro-ISIS website, the Egyptian affiliate of the Sunni militant group said the fighting took place south of the coastal city of El Arish, and that the militants also destroyed 2 tanks, a Humvee, and 2 other military vehicles. Following a spate of deadly attacks blamed on ISIS, Egypt recently stepped up security operations south of El Arish and the desert beyond, saying that many militants were killed and that weapons, ammunition, and explosives were seized. Then on Friday, February 3rd, from Ynet News, the Jordanian Air Force conducted airstrikes against ISIS targets in southern Syria using drones and guided missiles, hitting an ammunition depot, a car bomb factory, and a barracks. Turning to our Intifada update on Thursday, February 2nd, from the Times of Israel, 2 policemen and a civilian security guard in the West Bank were wounded when a Palestinian woman executed a car ramming attack, driving her vehicle into a police car and a guard post. She also confessed to it being deliberate. And now looking at our review of last week's news, Iran's missile testing last week is stirring up a very big buzz among the nations as an absolutely unacceptable act. ISIS claimed its fighters killed and wounded 20 Egyptian soldiers in 4 days of clashes in northern Sinai. The Jordanian Air Force conducted airstrikes against ISIS targets in southern Syria, and 2 policemen and a civilian security guard in the West Bank were wounded when a Palestinian woman executed a car ramming attack. And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.